site where this golf course was built, when I first saw it, I thought I was truly going to have one of the most enjoyable times building golf holes out of natural features. Starting with the first hole at the Natural in Gaylord, we're going to discuss the very inviting tee shot. The land slopes gently down from the right side along the hill, so anybody slicing will end up in the fairway. It's important to get a decent tee shot on this starting hole, since the requirements of the wetland and the State Department of Natural Resources required us to, of course, maintain the wetlands that crosses this hole, and of course it adds a certain element of beauty and challenge to the hole on the second shot. And the third shot into the well-bunkered green gives you a good flavor of what to look for in terms of style of golf and the type of golf that they're going to encounter on the next 17 holes. The third hole at the Natural, to me, takes advantage of the many natural features that there are there, takes great advantage of the elevation and the terrain differential. And the scene we're looking at now is the landing area, which from the back tees is out there 250 yards, but only 110 yards from the red tees. From the landing area on the third hole, you're looking down on a fairly narrow sliver of fairway leading up to the green, which is flanked on the right side by parallel water and on the left side by two sand bunkers, so that the visual image of this golf hole is much more difficult than the shot really is. Hole number 6 is representative of a pretty much straightaway golf hole. Has good yardage, 395 yards, but it reflects what I think the Natural has in it. The setting in the trees there is absolutely beautiful, and it's a straightaway tree-lined hole with bunkering on right and left at the landing area, and a well-elevated green site that's pretty well bunkered, but still there's not enough bunkering to make it a very difficult golf hole, so it's challenging but very fair. Hole number 8 at the Natural requires a very good tee shot to get out into the landing area, because the second shot requires a carry over the wetlands that, of course, have to be left untouched by state requirement. But the wetlands at the Natural, I think, are some of the most beautiful wetlands that we've ever worked with. They're more marshes and have a very positive visual impact on the golf course. The 9th hole is a relatively long par 3 at 185 yards, and it plays along the edge of the marsh, the same marsh that number 8 crosses. But it plays 100 yards for the ladies, so it's a very fair hole. There's a lot of room to play golf on the left. If you go right, you're in trouble. The green is fairly well bunkered, with 2 bunkers guarding the right side, making the left side the favorable side to come in on. The 10th hole is a very good starting hole. There's a lot of room to hit the ball, and from the tees it goes out again about 250 yards to a pretty wide landing area. And then we turn around and we look at the green. It's a very inviting approach shot to the green. It appears to be well bunkered, but when you get to the green and you hit a good shot, you'll find there's an awful lot of room to hit a ball up there and not be in a bunker. So I think it works very well for a starting hole from both a challenging playing aspect as well from the visual aspect. One of the unusual features we had at the Natural was an abandoned ski hill that we utilized to make the 14th hole, a fairly short 140-yard par 3 with the green tucked right in tight to the base of the slope, and it turned out to be a very attractive, stimulating, but somewhat deceptively playable golf hole. The ski hill again gave us an opportunity to use it for elevation. We used it for the tees on hole number 15, which is a straightaway par 4 of about 400 yards. It really exemplifies what you can do in northern Michigan with tree-lined fairways. And when we approach the green, we've got 2 bunkers on the left and 1 on the right. But the opening into the green is quite wide, and it's a reasonably fair golf hole and very inviting to play. The 18th hole is a very good finish hole, and it utilizes all the natural features at the Natural that you can have on a golf hole. The tee shot requires a rather demanding and long tee shot to get out into the landing area, to get out even with the target bunker on the right side, because when you get out there, there's quite a long carry over the marsh to the elevated green that you just get a peek of when you get out into that landing area. The green and tee were just simply cut out of the features that were at the Natural, and I think this golf hole is what it represents in wonderful style what the Natural is all about. It's challenging. It brings in all the features of a beautiful golf hole that you can get on this site, and yet it's very playable. It's got to be a great feeling to get a par on this finish hole when you play at the Natural. This golf course exhibits everything that northern Michigan has to offer. with the rolling terrain, the wooded acreage, the wetlands and marshes, and of all things, a small ski hill from which to work with. We got a very, very beautiful 6,400-yard golf course that is very fair and very challenging to play. The natural is truly what I call a natural golf course. I do believe that golf course architecture should be a reflection of the site and what the site has to offer in its natural state. I also think it's a very fair golf course, one that's extremely enjoyable to play and will be for many years to come.